Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with events in Libya and the death of 4 Americans, including a U.S. ambassador. They were killed in a brazen attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, and the president has vowed to bring their killers to justice. The ambassador, 52-year-old Chris Stevens, was, colleagues say, a quintessential diplomat who thrived on tough assignments and loved Libya. Tonight, U.S. officials aren't sure who was behind it. Was it al-Qaeda-inspired militants hunting for Americans or a backlash against an obscure film mocking the Muslim prophet Muhammad? More on that in a moment, but we begin with Eric Sorensen on the death of an ambassador.
Gunmen stormed the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, firing rockets, setting fire to the building, and killing 4 Americans, including the U.S. ambassador to Libya, Chris Stevens. Other Libyans tried to save Stevens, who may have died from smoke inhalation.
My name is Chris Stevens, and I'm the new U.S. ambassador to Libya.
Stevens, age 52, was a highly regarded diplomat. He'd written this summer that Libya had begun to change for the better.
The United States condemns in the strongest terms this outrageous and shocking attack. And make no mistake, we will work with the Libyan government to bring to justice the killers who attacked our people.
The attacks were apparently spurred by a movie produced by an American businessman.
Unfair to the people.
The film, amateurish and largely ignored for weeks, depicts, in parts of the film not shown here, the Prophet Muhammad in ways clearly insulting to Muslims. And in the internet age, it reached extremists. Protesters upset by the film scaled the U.S. embassy walls in Egypt, taking down the American flag. And the protest in Libya clearly went even further.
Don't make our people angry, because they will kill, they will fight, they will do such a situation.
The attacks have also sparked a political firestorm in Washington. It started with the U.S. Embassy in Egypt trying to diffuse anger over that film, stating it condemns the continuing efforts by misguided individuals to hurt the religious feelings of Muslims. That was before the killings, yet Republican Mitt Romney was already tying it to the White House and calling the response disgraceful.
The first response of the United States must be outrage at the breach of the sovereignty of our nation. An apology for America's values is never the right course.
Romney, though, spoke before the president himself had spoken, prompting a backlash from this former diplomat.
I think it's inappropriate for a presidential nominee to speak about a circumstance involving attacks on Americans abroad before the commander-in-chief and the president of the United States have all the facts.
They have all the facts now. 4 Americans killed. They are beefing up their embassies around the world, and in particular, Donna, they are sending 200 Marines to the embassy in Tripoli, Libya.
Tense times for American embassies around the world. Eric, what are the U.S. officials saying about who might be behind this, whether it was a spontaneous backlash to that film or a pre-planned attack?
Yeah, at first it was assumed that this was a protest that turned violent, but it seemed like a commando attack with rocket-propelled grenades on the consulate at the very time that the ambassador was visiting from Tripoli. So now it's figured that it may well be, and there's speculation it may well be coordinated, that it could be pro-Gaddafi forces, old ones, or possibly al-Qaeda. And if so, it almost certainly then is time to the anniversary of September 11th.
Eric Sorensen in Washington, thanks.